Welcome to another weekly spark with Yes And. Last week, we talked about how to achieve your most ambitious goals without stress or burnout. But what happens when you're on the pursuit of those goals and you lose the inspiration and the motivation that ignited those goals in the first place? Today, I am sharing 4 tips to get unstuck when you're feeling uninspired, so you can take action now and experience that life you dream of. To follow along with these tips, download your free PDF heading to yesandbymarin.com/blog. And as your first action step to get unstuck, give this video a like. Hello, my name is Marin Lauka, and as an alignment coach, as the owner of Yes And, I empower you to get rid of those false expectations and limiting beliefs for how life should be so you can own your potential and experience true fulfillment. Today, we are walking toward that big picture goal with 4 tricks to get unstuck when you're feeling uninspired so you can take action now and make those dreams your reality. Jumping right into tip number 1 is to not do what you are supposed to do. So oftentimes when we're feeling stuck, it's because we have this pressure on ourselves that we have to do something specific. And we're so tunnel visioned on that one thing, even though we don't want to do it, or maybe it's not even the right time. We think that we are not motivated or inspired to do anything, when a more true statement would be that we're not inspired or motivated to do that specific thing. Give yourself permission to do what you want to do right now. And that starts with the question, what do I want to do? Ask yourself that question sincerely and honestly, and listen to the response without judgment. Rather than creating these stories about what would or wouldn't be productive, what the right thing is to do right now because of the time of day or the day of the week, just ask yourself that question and let whatever comes to the surface be the right answer, and then do it. Get unstuck by doing the thing you want to do. Now, you may be thinking, but Marin, I want to watch Netflix right now. That's the thing that I want to do. I'm encouraging you to do that. Watch Netflix, but ask yourself sincerely. And so if the answer to your question is, well, I'd really want to watch the next episode of my favorite show right now, then watch the next episode of your favorite show. The trick is, at the end of that episode, rather than automatically play the episode to follow, pause, if only for a moment, and ask yourself the question again. In the new moment, what do I genuinely want to do? Sometimes that is watching another episode. Sometimes we all have days, where we just want to lounge, and that is truly genuinely what we want to do. In my experience, however, that doesn't last forever. And that's something that a lot of us fear, that if we let ourselves do what we want to do, then we're never going to do the things we have to do or the things we should do. Truth is, as humans, we like to do things. We like to be productive. We like to create things. And so it is not in our natural instinct to watch Netflix forever. There is probably a part of us, if only it's a little part, that wants to do something differently at some point. And that's the part we want to illuminate and give voice to. What do I genuinely want to do right now? What would feel good? And then follow that. Tip number 2 for getting unstuck when you're feeling uninspired is to say yes. If you are up for challenges, I like to add them into my life every now and then. Challenge yourself to a full day or even a full hour of saying yes. And whatever comes in front of you, say yes to it. If your partner asks that you're the one that runs errands today, say yes. If your mom calls and you want to go get coffee, say yes. If someone asks you to be their business partner, say yes. Challenge yourself to say yes to whatever is in front of you. Let the inspiration come from somewhere outside of yourself. Look around you and see what possibilities, what opportunities are here just waiting for you to say yes and show up. A slight caveat that may or may not be necessary is, of course, to keep your well-being and safety at top of mind. So don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. Or if you get that gut instinct that says something isn't right, of course, don't say yes to that. The point is that sometimes we are hindering our own opportunities simply because we're scared, or we have some predetermined plan that these opportunities that come up for us don't fit nicely into. So for a day, for an hour, for 10 minutes, say yes to whatever comes up for you. What I love about this is it's a really great blend between intention and action. Maybe you've taken my quiz before. If not, it's linked below, of whether you are intention-oriented or action-oriented. And I find that my clients are either one or the other. If you're intention-oriented, you are looking for that inspiration and maybe even experiencing that inspiration, but the action, the follow-through doesn't happen. If you're action-oriented, you have the rule book, you have the plan in front of you, and you are implementing all day long, but the intention piece is missing. And so sometimes you're implementing something that doesn't even matter, or you don't even want to go after the thing that you were implementing. This second tip allows both individuals to get outside of their comfort zone. So for the intention-oriented folks, you're getting out of your comfort zone by taking action and doing something really without much thought or without a lot of pre-planning. And if you're action-oriented, you're still taking action, but in a way that isn't following that rule book. And speaking of rule books, tip number 3 is a could-do list. Rather than a to-do list or the rules of what you have to do that day or your calendar that can sometimes start to feel constraining and strict, I invite you to create a could-do list. And this alone is getting you unstuck just by getting what is on your mind out on paper. It also helps to ease any of the fears or worries that sometimes hinder us from taking action. And in fact, those fears and worries, those gremlins I like to call them, may be the things that are keeping you stuck, because there are all these stories about why you can't or why you shouldn't or what might go wrong. By creating a could-do list, you're not anchored to any one of those bullet points. It's simply a list of things you could do. When we let ourselves brainstorm with this openness and with this ease, it creates ideas that you wouldn't have otherwise come up with, and can also get us out of that headspace of having to do something which sometimes, myself included, we rebel against. Rather, you could do it. So do you want to or not? Oftentimes, if I'm mid-workday and I'm not inspired or I'm losing motivation, I take a step back from my calendar and I look at all the tasks that I have for the entire week and I say, what would I be willing to do right now? Essentially, it's turning my calendar into a could-do list. Almost always, if I'm feeling stuck, if I step back and say, would I be willing to do something? The answer is yes. So tip 3 is to write the could-do list. And to start you off and get us all a little inspired, comment below, what could you do today? Write, today I could fill in the blank. And our last tip of the day for how to get unstuck when you're feeling uninspired, so you can take action now and start experiencing that true fulfillment you dream of, is to stop waiting for inspiration. And I know they're sweet. I know those aha moments feel amazing. My clients often say those are some of the favorite parts of our coaching together. However, the beauty of aha moments is that they're often spontaneous. Something clicks together that we didn't see before, that we couldn't have anticipated. We can't will that into existence. And so this tip number 4, is to lower the bar a little bit. Let yourself just see the things that you're naturally curious about or intrigued about, or a shiny object that catches your attention today, and let that be your inspiration and your motivation to get going. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy the aha moments and the big moments of inspiration that come your way. Those are bound to come as well. And until they arrive, follow your curiosity. Follow the little things that excite you and that grab your attention, and let that be enough. If you want to see these tips outlined for you with a PDF, again, maybe hang it on your office wall, download the free PDF linked below by heading to yesandbymaureen.com/blog. You'll also see my strengths quiz linked down there, which I mentioned in tip number 2. Some of us are intention-oriented, some of us are action-oriented, and knowing your strength is really useful to navigate things like inspiration and like getting unstuck, so that you can take action and achieve those goals that you have in front of you. And to get unstuck right now in this moment, give this video a like if you enjoyed these 4 tips, and comment below the one thing that you could do today. Stay tuned every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Next week, we are coming back to this idea of getting unstuck, but we are addressing it through journaling. How to journal every day to get unstuck and foster flow, that sweet experience between skill and challenge. I'll see you then.